never be wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been waiting for a sign.
Do you hear that?
Now I'm dancing to your vibe. I'm holding it forever, like a treasure from the tree, right from the tree. My body ain't confused no more.
Do you hear that?
I'm looking at the sky, see the spark and singing. I've been waiting for a sign.
Get up and move your feet. Dance to the beat.
Now I'm dancing to your vibe.
Girl, if loving you was a crime, then I know I'd be in prison a long time. 'Cause I love you so.
Hi, I'm Tonia Daley-Campbell, and we are joined with members of the Rush production team and the wonderful, amazing Mr. Campbell from our Wolverhampton community. We are going to be talking about all things Jamaican, everything that we've brought from the Windrush community to our wonderful city and to the UK. So, let's go on a joyous Jamaican journey. It would be really good if we start with an introduction from everyone. Would you like to?
Yeah, my name's Owen Miller from Rush Theatre Company. I'm a writer, director and producer with the company.
All right. Big up yourself. Give a round of applause. We like that, we like that, we like that. Introduce yourself.
My name is Reuben Campbell. I've been living in Wolverhampton for a long time.
I like that.
Yes. Okay.
I'm Ken McLean, and I am the DJ and backing vocals on the Rush tour.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Orvil Pinnock. I'm the musical director for Rush, A Joyous Jamaican Journey.
Ah, you got that one in there.
Oh, I get it.
Points for you. Well done, well done. So I'd just like to kickstart with the first question. And this is for everyone, but I'm going to start with Mr. Campbell. So could you tell us, where are you from in Jamaica? And when did you come over? And what was it like when you came to this country?
Well, my name is Reuben Campbell. I was born in St. Elizabeth. I grown up into a little family in Pass and shop. So I always do a little business. And then at the age of 23, I went off to Kingston. And I had a job into a meat product that they reckon was one of the best in the island.
Wow.
Because it was run by French people from Belgium, Congo. And we used to supply most of the high school, hotels, and for a long time. Anyway, we used to go like Alpha Boys School, Alpha Girls School, Alpha Academy, St. Joseph Hospital, and most of they were Catholic, so they get most of the high school orders. And I had a meat cutting certificate. Okay, when I came here, I tried to get in the trade. I tried Marsh and Baxter's and that other place, but I just couldn't. So my first job was with British Rail Electric Traction, and they were just electrifying the Midlands, and the depot was in Wednesbury. And the inspector used to come from crew daily, and then we used to go out on the train, and then we used to check what's the overhead to remove, prepare for electric traction. I was with them when we done rugby crew, and we started New Street, and I left it after two years. I leave the company. I went for went to work in Bilston with Bilston Bath then. And spent 17 years at Bilston Bath. But while I was at Bilston Bath, there was something come along, and I invested into a nightclub. But, and then I helped to set this nightclub up, and I was managing secretary, and my mate was managing director. And we both was working for the same company, Bilston Bath at the time. To get the venue, myself, I could find 10,000. We need 29,000. And my partner, Mr. Daley, could find 10,000. We couldn't get the rest from the bank, so we turned to our friends. And the first 6 people said, okay, because we know we have to own, between us to keep our position, we have to own 60% of the share. Anyway, we get 6 people, so we fall short of 3,000. We couldn't get it from the bank either. Wow. And the closest bank to us was Lloyd Banks in Church Street in Bilston. Anyway, we have to turn to another 3 people, so we get the 9 grand. Yeah. Anyway, we start off, and then we make some silly rule, but it worked for us. And the reason why we could do that those days, there was nothing else. Yeah. And we went to meet the chief constable, which in Westfield was a guy called Massey. And he said to us, at night, it's only one police across the road because the police station was opposite us. Yeah, a very nice venue it was. Anyway, so he said, make some rules and keep your rule and don't break it for anyone. So I sit back with my mate and we said, at that time, it was a lax terms and things like that. Dread was going about. You know. So we sit back, and it was a members club. And we give out some free membership. And we come up with some silly rule, but it worked for us at the time.
Silly rule.
Because we went on to say, no locks, no tom, no cap.
Oh, gosh.
No Tom.
No Toms. So that's the woolly type.
The reason for that at the time, there was a period of time things was changing and people was behaving like, as long as I'm saying I'm a Rasta, I can do as I like, you know. And anyway,
not like that, okay.
Mr. C, you haven't actually mentioned the name of
I'm just about to ask him
What
that.
is the name of
well,
this
we
notorious
we
club?
set up this Rising Star.
Rising
Rising
Star.
yeah.
So you was the culprit.
Yeah. So when we hear one saying, oh, people haven't got the right to refuse, when you're talking about a members club, they can refuse us 7 days a week without give you the reason until you become a member.
Oh.
Okay. I've never been in that club. So
You can go where you can go where
I've heard of
why.
it.
yeah,
I've
you
never
can
been in
you
that
can
club.
take it to any tribe anywhere you want to go. They're not
Can I still sue?
they're not committed to you
Yeah, I understand.
until and I mixed very well with Wolverhampton and all the young guys in the party, and they listen and they behave in a way. And what we did smartly, to put 2 people on the door, we get British heavyweight champion karate and the middleweight karate on the door. And they used to do a lot of school, coaching. And them guys just come and stood there like Terry Lawless guys, and we never have that much problem.
Okay.
For 7 years, it went well, and it kicked off very well. And after 7 years, recession hit us. And a lot of community center, you come along where people can go and do what they want to do.
Yes. So we kind of basically kind of paved the way.
And Rastas could get into
yes,
the
they were allowed in some places.
Yes.
I had one DJ do 2 hours for £115 on a Friday night called KKJ. And he was like the Emperor Roscoe type.
Okay.
And
I know Emperor Roscoe,
we
yeah.
had, he kept 450 to 500 on a Friday night, every Friday
right.
night.
I remember back in the day, Rising
Every
Star
Friday,
was a club, was on the scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
And-
Definitely, I remember the
and
name.
we gone from fashion show. Guys used to ring us up from London. So we did an extended show, which can hold, we hold 8-piece bands. We used to do big bands. If you take people like Musical Youth, we put them on very early when they said they were forward from the workshop. And we were paying them £150. And even when they hit #1, we had them booked for 200, but the agent went.
Because they became big.
Of course.
This generation. Rules the nation. Exactly.
But Rising Star was like a club that catered not only for black, because we had so many different shows. There's mainly white. We done a Rockers Road show. We done Thames Television do a documentary on Musical Youth. We done that. So we done it all there. So you know.
Mr. Campbell, I'm going to just stop you there because I just want to, because we're going to come back because you've given us so many gems that will lead us into so much nice things. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to say before we come on to you guys talking about where your family are from, can you just show? I just can see on the table here. So tell us the year you arrived, and can you show us what is on the table there when you come? What you come with? You have a passport?
Well,
tell us about this. Do you see how I changed my accent?
I had this passport, and I wish this was issued, I think, in October 61. And I wish anyone could read this out, what it said. And after a time when the changes come along, this didn't stand anything. I still had to pay £75 for citizenship, which I had citizenship from 1961. Exactly. And look what it said here. Just read it out like everybody.
But can I just show this? Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. So imagine this passport is a Jamaican passport, and it's a British passport.
Yes.
Jamaican, British. It looks so royal.
Yes.
And
so inside it says, I, Kenneth Blackburn, Knight Commander of the most distinguished order of St. Michael and St. George, officer of the most excellent order of the British Empire, Captain General and Governor-in-Chief in and over the island of Jamaica and its dependencies, request and require in the name of Her Majesty all those whom it may concern to allow the bearer to pass freely without let or hindrance, and to afford him, Mr. Campbell, every assistance and protection of which he may stand in need, given at King's House in the island of Jamaica, the 23rd day of October 1961.
So
Boy,
that's
signed
that's older than me.
K.W. Blackburn.
So that's
Governor.
older than me.
This is amazing. Amazing. And let me just show everybody for fun inside. Everybody just look inside. Can you see? This look like a pretty boy.
Yeah, oh gosh.
Look more like a rude boy.
Yeah, like the
Rude boy, come to town.
Different. Age make a difference.
Age make a difference.
We'll let you know when we get there.
Oh, this is beautiful. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing and bringing in. This is legacy right here. And capturing this is a beautiful moment for me. I don't have my grandparents at all. And they came over similar time. Well, a little bit before that. And it means a lot to me to see these. It gives me so much joy. And thank you for sharing. And that just leads me nicely onto, if you guys don't mind just sharing where you're from. And I think you guys have got images and pictures as well with you, some of you. So just share a little bit about where you're from. I know that being from Wolverhampton, my family are from Hanover. And there's a lot of Hanoverians, I call us, that are from, that reside in Wolverhampton. So tell us a little bit. Let's go over to
So my
Ken.
parents, which I have a small picture of them just here.
Beautiful.
My father, Harold McLean, and my mother, Hortense McLean.
Hortense?
Yes, Hortense. Yes, no, that was her pet name.
Okay.
Because funnily enough, I've known Owen since I was born. Because our parents are both from the same kind of parish.
Wow.
So I've known him from the day I was born.
Wow.
Right up to now. It's been a pain, but...
You know, it's funny you said that. Oh, I thought it was this. We have, in our culture, we have this thing where we have one name that we're born with, and then a different name, and then another name that everybody calls you.
And funnily enough, this particular picture, I actually got it from Owen.
Joking.
So he's got a picture of my parents. So my parents are from Clarendon. In Jamaica, which is not far from, a lot of people would more know Maypen.
Yes.
It's not far from Maypen, just a taxi ride, and Gimney Beat,
Yes.
places like that. I've been a few times myself, and the beauty about it, I didn't get to go to Jamaica till I was older, in my 20s. Because obviously with 4 children, you can't bring 4 children to Jamaica. You can't afford that. So I didn't get to go till I was older. And it was amazing because every day my parents was alive, they would be telling stories in the house about this person, about that person. And so as a grown man, when I went to Jamaica and met these people and heard the name and kind of put a face to that individual, it was an amazing experience. And it was amazing for them to meet us as well, because the thing is, when I first went to Jamaica, and because I'm born here in this country, in the UK, they expected me to be speaking the Queen's English, be drinking tea all day, speaking spokey, and I was totally, obviously different to that. And it's even up to this day, they're blown away by that. And they kept saying to me, I can't believe you're born England. You come in like you're born Jamaica, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, my parents always brought us up in the Jamaican culture. They never run away from that. The food that we ate, the music that we listened to, everything about our household was Jamaican.
Wow.
And it was amazing as a kid watching them, like when English people used to come to the house, the insurance man, the milkman, and they used to try and speak English, and that was funny in itself, you know what I mean? But love them to bits. I'm just glad of the legacy that they've left. And I've been able to go to Jamaica and seen where they come from, and I can relate to where they come from because they grew us that way. We didn't go there and felt like, oh, this ain't for us, or oh, it was never like that. We love it to bits, and we've all my brothers and sisters have been back off our own steam.
That's amazing. So just a quick question of that. How important then was merging the Jamaican culture with your British culture and your when you were living here? Just a quick
What a
touch
question.
on that. Sorry.
So no, for me, it goes back to that old Marcus Garvey saying, a tree without roots. If you don't know your roots, how you gonna grow? And so, as I say, when I go to Jamaica, I feel so at home because it's my culture. My parents never ran away from it, because I know people that's parents ran away from it, tried to shake off that identity, that even you speak in patois, they don't even know what you're talking about. I know people like that, and they're born in this country, but my parents never, ever grew us like that. They always let us know who we are and what we are.
Amazing.
That's what I would say.
Thank you so much for that.
No
Thanks
worries.
for sharing. I just feel that, and I feel the gravity, the weight behind the legacy.
Yes.
And it just makes me feel really proud.
And just to add to that, that's why it's an absolute, I can't even say absolute enough, joy to be involved in the Rush tour, the whole of the Rush concept, because it's part of me.
It's part of
so
the
it's a
legacy.
natural thing for me.
Amazing. That's a beautiful link into that. So could I, Orvil, if you could share
Yes.
with us?
Well, I say my parents are Jamaican. I was going to say what part of Jamaica I'm from. I'm from West Bromwich. Which, as you know, which is not Jamaican, but my parents.
Well, I'm from the Black Country.
This is a picture of my father, Kenneth Percival Pinnock. Wow. He came here in 1958, and they had 7 children before Dad came.
Wow.
So he had 7. So he left Mum in 58, came here to, like many, seek their fortune, and also send money for Mum to build another house for those that were there. This is my mum, Margaret Isidore Pinnock. She's died recently. Oh. But
I
yes.
see the resemblance straight away.
Well, I actually didn't see it, because we never see it. But she came in 65. And then when she came, obviously, the idea is like most have an idea that they want to go back home, or for some, they come here with a view that they're going to send for the children. And this is another picture. There's me here, there's my brother Michael, there's my sister Marjorie. We were born here. So, you know, I'm the last of 10.
Wow.
And I think, you know, like, it's one of those things where you kind of, the kind of feeling that you have for them is, I think it grows when you kind of consider what they did in terms of coming over. And, you know, just for me to, you know, I moved from West Brom, I moved to Wednesbury sometimes, and it hurts your head. You know, having to move, get married, all that comes with that, let alone someone, you know, leaves their culture, leaves all that, come to another country, to sometimes, you know, we know a hostile environment, all that, and still able to make something of their life. You know, and they wanted us to kind of, you know, integrate into the culture and learn the culture. But, you know, Mum, you know, she don't want us to speak, she doesn't want us to speak English, but then you couldn't speak English around Mum, and Mum understand you. So for me, I always got that, you know, that sense of, okay, then people think that, you know, what part of Jamaica are you from, Orv? Just because when I'm ready?
Yeah, you drop it.
Or you can drop it like it's hot, as they say. You know, part of a Christian family, you know, Dad came to faith later, but Mum was always a Christian, and she was a seer as well, so you couldn't do anything wrong. Because
When you
she'd
say a
always see.
seer?
For me, she'd always see in the spirit what you were doing. So you come from, you know, you come from school or anything happening, she'd be talking like somebody, you know, we didn't have phones until late, but she'd be talking like
Somebody's called.
like someone has called her and told her what you're doing, you know?
Are you like this?
Oh, you know, fast, you know, someone's kind of fast in your business, but she was.
Can I have a look at that when you carry on?
But she was one for us. But, you know, for us, I think their contribution, I think you don't really realise, you know, and then a lot of the, sometimes most of the stuff is mixed up in political controversy. So, you know, a lot of the Windrush issues, we see has been seen as a negative over the years because of what's been going on in government.
Yes.
And that, for me, that clouds a lot of the contribution. was great about when this thing started and we were going through. All the information coming through in the papers, even though some of it was negative, fueled what we were doing. You know, it
and
said...
then we're able to make it a celebration,
Yes.
which is
So
really
now when
good.
I'm looking at, I mean, that's why I think I'm excited about being part, because it shines for me a positive light on their contribution.
Wow.
So even though, yes, we can talk about all the people that try to make it look as though our contribution wasn't anything, it says that our contribution is still a positive contribution. I'm standing on the shoulders of these two people here, two strong people, and also I know that there is many who can share with me that same story.
Wow, 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 Orvil. Thank you for that. This is just, it's a beautiful situation. I'm going to move over to you, Owen.
Yes.
So we've had such a great wealth of stories and sharing. So just first of all, just tell us where your family originally from, and just as you tell us that, maybe go a little bit deeper into what was it like for them when they arrived, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Right, so we're family and from Clarendon. Mum was brought up in a place called Milk River.
Okay.
And I just remembered going to where my father is from, which is up in the mountains, and that was called Manchester. And I'm like...
He was looking for Old Trafford.
Yeah. The cricket ground. And I just remember being there as a 9-year-old and being in Milk River and going to a place called Ress, which was like the centre of the town. And coming with my cousin, and we bought a couple of patties. But this is like the 60s. And I just like, you know, like I'm walking down Soho Road, just... And it was like I'd committed murder. Yeah, shame the family, eat on the street, right? And I remember she went back and she told my grandmother. And I remember my grandmother just got the walking stick and go, poof, right? And I was like, ow. I'm looking at my mum as to say, have a word. Yeah. But she went ramping with her mum, like, you know. Yeah. And then they took me up to Manchester, and I remember looking around, and I said to my cousin Earl, "Is this Mars?" What? And they went, "Mars? I ain't gonna come from, you know." I'm stupid, because all the dirt was red. Yeah. And being at school over here and seeing pictures of Mars. Yeah. Yes. Wow. And then I got another beating, right? Because I saw the big tank, and my cousin also said, "Oh, you want to swim?" I said, "Yeah, so jump in, man." I didn't realise that was their water.
Oh gosh. So they played you.
Played me big time. And I remember I had to get up early in the morning to move the goats to a different pasture. Yes. And I said, I remember saying to Earl, "How do you take them down?" He said, "Just tie them running with you." I've still got scars. No, I've still got scars on my knees, right? And a scar on they got them just charming. But it was very nice.
So when your family came over, do you know, what was it like in terms of, you know, accommodation?
My mum and dad had lived at 119 Limridge Road, and from the outside, I took my daughter there about a year ago, and she goes, "You used to live here?" And I was going, "Yeah," but it's so tiny. And I'm like, "But it's stretched back." And she went, "What do you mean stretched back?" But I saw her little face going, "What do you mean stretched back? You can't stretch a house." Anyway, it had 8 bedrooms. Yeah. And it was a receiving house from all over the Caribbean. It wasn't just Jamaicans. Yes. Because somebody would say, "Yeah, check my man here, check my..." Yeah, so it wasn't just Jamaicans. I used to love it when I used to hear my father playing dominoes, right? And it could have been Kitty Shan.
Yeah.
Right, two Kitishans playing two Jamaicans.
Inter-island.
Yeah, right. And they were arguing,
banter.
come out of my yard, right? Well, I'm not going to pay the rent. All right, Steve.
I love the energy of domino. Every time when I see
gosh.
a dominoes playing, it just gives me so much joy. Because when they left, fling it
Well, I'll
down.
give you a joke because, funnily enough, my mum is a
Yes.
demon domino
Yes, she was.
player.
That's
what I mean, I
And I only knew that one time we went to a dead yard. You remember
Yeah,
dead
man.
yard?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, we went dead yard. And my mum controlled up the domino table.
You know what I used to like about his mom? She used to, between that little finger there, right, she's holding him, but she used to put another one just there.
Yeah, man.
All of them in one hand. I'm like,
Listen, I'll get competitive, you know. I get competitive, like, when it's domino. I'm just like, I need to know, I need to feel, and I don't feel like I'm in it unless I'm flinging it. You get what I mean? But, so the receiving houses was really important, actually, because what you're saying is, it was you guys you'd set up and then you would help other people.
Yes.
Until
So we live at 32, just up the road from where Owen
no,
was.
he lives at the posh end.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But again, the house itself was like the TARDIS, where from the outside it looked small, but when you go inside, there was like 10 rooms.
Yeah.
And all of them, there was no. Well,
all full.
actually, there was a front room that.
Yeah, but we never
you
seen
know
it
the
special.
front, you know the front room. You ain't going in there. But barring that, we had people from all over the Caribbean, and they helped to grow you as well. You know what I mean? It wasn't just your parents. You had all these different people in their little space in the house, and everybody just got on.
There is the saying, it takes a village to
Yes,
raise, and so that's where that comes from.
We can relate to that.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
And that's because my father used to run a partner.
Yes.
We're gonna
his
go
dad-
to this.
His dad was the partner expert.
All right.
And trips.
Yeah, man. Yes,
Oh my
to go on
goodness,
trips.
this is good.
And I remember it was like £100 and something pound, which that meant you were rich.
Yeah.
And my dad said to me one day, take this down to Felicia, who was my auntie.
Yeah.
And we just had a phone, and the colour TV, we used to put 50p in the back of that. Okay. And my mum used to watch Kojak.
Yeah.
And when she used to see, you look back now,
Theo.
and you could see it was like ketchup. But she used to look at it and go, oh, Lord, me can't watch it. Look at the blood still on. I remember the one day, to teach me a lesson, he used to say, deliver the powder to like Mas George or Mas Hewitt or whatever. Check the money. I'm like, yeah. He's turned his back. Sure. Don't want to do this anyway. And they set me up. And it wasn't until when did the Villa win the European Cup?
80 something.
It was 82 or 83 or something like that. And he told me then, he basically rang my auntie, because we had a phone, they had a phone, and said, I said, who ain't done with this something? I take £5.
Oh.
Because I would never check it.
Oh.
And I
They
remember,
always instilled in you check
You got to check the money. It's all part of the principles. It's the teachings. Teaching you a lesson.
Yeah. Oh,
But
gosh, it
you,
was.
take your fast.
Stick rocking on me, no, stick
push it
rocking
to
on
the
my ears, right?
Yeah.
And I remember going down to my auntie, walking down Surrey Road to 33 Whitehall Road. And she said to me, I said, oh, Dad said to give you this. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, well, yeah, go. You have to check it first, right? And I remember she goes, 10, 20, 30, 95, with the other £5. And I'm like, I remember, automatically I just went, I don't know. Oh, please don't tell Daddy. And she go, hold on. James, the boy thief are £5. And I remember, God rest her soul, she gave me a piece of beating.
Oh, gosh, you got beaten?
Yeah, man.
I walked back up to the top of Handsworth, and Dad says, don't worry about it, come here. I said, oh, thank you. Boy, we're not telling me to check the money.
Yes, because Owen's dad was a bit of an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So he would, from what I remember as a kid growing up, his dad was responsible for the partner, He would run the partner. He would run all trips, Saturday, you know, them Saturday trips where we used to go like Blackpool.
Used to
And,
go to the Bamboo Club.
As you say that, let me just come over to Mr. Campbell because he's been quiet in the corner, but this man...
He knows a lot.
So first of all, tell us about when you came over, like what was the accommodation like? And then I'm sure you could tell us a little bit about partner and trips to dip in.
Well, because I spent so many time around Kingston and I was into actually a fairly good job at that age. That type of money was good money at the time. And I had some friend that do cabinet maker. They were cabinet maker. And so my room was like, you know what I mean? Because I just said I need a chunkhead bed. And
everything
dry.
Everything make out of
When you come to my... it was about 6 or 7 tenants was living there. And some young girl was going like, Excelsior, that. And they take my room for, you know, because my room was so posh.
Is this in the UK?
Pick up here, they draw here.
Is that in Jamaica?
In Jamaica.
Yes.
So coming to England now, when I had a nephew, my family, most people gone, America, Canada. Don't tell me about America because I wouldn't go to live, I was young, but I never been to the place then, but I wouldn't live there to save my life. Okay. You know, America is somewhere I didn't live.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, because in all honesty, I always ruled by British.
Yeah.
British rule, that's what I know.
Yeah.
So when I had a nephew who used to do flowers and vegetables in out near to where I work, and he pack in and he come to England. And when I decided, I had 2 options, staying in London by him or come to Wolverhampton to a friend. When I get to London, he was working on the railway, you know, on the platform, and he went, "Where you going?" And he said, "Where you going?" And I thought, okay. I stopped around London for a few days. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So I decided, I rang this other guy now and said I was coming to Wolverhampton. And when I came up here now, he get me a room to somebody with the Hemans.
Oh,
Junior father and me, as you were saying, share one room. That's why Junior, me,
that's
the
what you
Hemans
know?
and me is like a family. And so I was like, didn't come to parents or anything. So, but the land Mrs. Heman, you know, I used to go over next door to sit with a guy at night, and she used to take the killer gas and put it in my room and warm it up a bit.
You don't get paraffin outside.
And warm it up a bit, and then, you know, I love her to bit because
We got that.
I love her to bit because she treats me like a son.
Yeah.
And then I think we share a room with Junior father for a while until I think his wife come along and he move on. So I was left with the room. And I was, and the Heman family, you know, kids, I used to take them to school, and I used to pick them up, and Sonia, and all of them, Diane, and all of them. So, like, the Heman family, they we grew up like one family, you know. So, after a while, I've been saving up a bit now, and I sent for the girl who actually I said I knew. We only went out a few times. We went to she had a brother in Kingston, and I was living in Kingston, and
So
she
coming
come
out
over
now,
and I
isn't
met her. and we went out. We went to the pictures a few times, and I thought, you know, here you start to get mixed up with different people, and I thought I better book her for after 2 years. After 2 years.
As you can see, he was a player.
He was a good player.
So I booked her for, and she came in August 64.
Okay.
And we get married
Wow.
a year later.
Okay.
We get married when 4 days before she was 21.
Oh.
Then our dad had to sign from home to agree to the wedding.
Okay.
Because them days was 21.
Oh.
So when we publish it, they said they couldn't do it until they get the
Signature.
acceptance from dad to sign. So when we get married, like on the 28th of March, she would be 21. A few on the 24th.
Okay.
But them said them days they were rushing it to get tax back. So we had to. We didn't have no relative, no friend, no close friends. So we have to plan everything. And she was pretty young, but we put it together and we did everything together.
Can I ask you, when you came here, did you have any immediate family here, or was you just a
one
lone soldier?
nephew in London.
Yeah.
But when I came to London, it broke my heart when he said, "Where are you going?" Because he knew we were having really reasonable time. Because I had a job, and he had a flowers and garden where he used to supply like supermarket and this. And he packed all that in and come here. He didn't happy either because the money he was getting on the railway, what he was making in a day, just on his garden where he sells some flowers and vegetables.
Back home. Wow.
And then the average wages was £13 a week here. I used to work with, when I started with British Rail, I put 48 hours per week. 48 hours, and I used to go in Saturday and Sunday. And for that extra 8 hours Sunday and 6 hours Saturday, and it's £13. You know?
So, can I ask you another question? So, at that point, when you realized, hang on a minute, I was earning just as much, if not more, in Jamaica than I am here. Did you have any reservations about going back home then?
Well, hold on. Look at it. You can say what you want, but you pull your lifestyle up. What you going back to?
Yeah.
So it wasn't about
you have
the
to
money.
in a position. A lot of people ask me that question. Why didn't you go back? Or would you think you would be better off? I wouldn't know because I was into a job. And I come here and find a job. So how you answer that question? Because if you pull your lifestyle up, no, I didn't have anything left there because all my furniture, I sent it into the country for my mom. Everything, I had a job. So you come to England and they say you have to go save your fare. No, it wasn't easy because the wages here was not different. But then, because cost of living, we could still save and chew a partner and go out at night, go out and enjoy yourself. But the question for said, going back, it wouldn't be easy.
Right.
Because you could only go back if you have provision set up. Because what you're going back to, you pull up your lifestyle already and come here. And
You pull everything's uprooted.
Yeah, he's giving away all his stuff to his mom.
And as time goes along, I'm one type of person who is saying, look after yourself and the family, you know. And but I do enjoy myself. I do go out and at the time, I do go out, you know. But
can I just go back to to the partner because you said we were able to do this and do that and then throw a partner. Just for the viewers at home, because we mentioned partner in the play, do we?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. So
that was the bank.
When you say throw a partner, what is a part? I know, but maybe people out there don't know, and we want everybody to know what is a partner.
partner, the way I saw it, was like Mr. Campbell, my parents, they couldn't get bank accounts. We were discussing this earlier. And everybody would show a hand. So 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. That make 5?
But not just 10, it could be anything.
Yes.
It could be anything.
Show half a hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And you could do half a hand,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah. So you could show half a hand, and at the end of week 1 to week 5, so if it was your turn, you'd get £50.
Yep.
And you'd be able to sort of like send some money home. And a lot of them, that's how they got their deposits.
Yeah.
For property of their own. Is that right?
Some people question it because I have my son-in-law wouldn't do it, and he's saying it's your partner, and the banker take a hand, take one out it, so you get less than what you put in. But I saying to him, it helped a lot of people to do things.
Yes.
Because if, for instance, a genuine partner and you said, okay, let me have last, so you're entitled to last and first.
Yeah.
And you say, for instance, you want £500 to do something.
Yeah.
And you get £500 this week, and you get £500. You can make provision.
Yeah.
You know. No, if you haven't got that type of money and you get that money at the bank, you'd have to pay interest on it anyhow.
Yes.
So the people who are naive and don't think, say, it do help.
Yes.
Because you could get like a second draw. You want to do something. All right, it gives you a chance to throw it back.
Yeah.
That same type of money, if you try to get it out the bank, so don't naive and think the banker takes some because it's responsibility.
It's exactly.
It's
That's why.
responsibility.
That's,
you know?
well, that's why your dad
Yeah.
was teaching you a lesson, because it's a responsibility to hold that much money.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's.
And would you say, is the partner something that's still alive today?
Yeah. So I'm in one.
You're in one.
I'm in one. And
He's in one now.
And my dad used to run one. I mean, from my end, I was young.
Yeah.
Seeing
me.
him run, seeing him run this part. I mean, for me, it represented. People didn't just. For me, they didn't just. I wasn't seeing them just giving him money, you know, because for them, your money worries is life worries. So I'd see them come in and they would throw their hand, but then I would always see them talking to him about their issues. Yeah. And you know, sometimes why they're running it, why they're putting their partner in.
Yes.
But also you'd hear a lot of, I mean, even my young head thinking about some of the people who used to come to the house and give their partner, but they'd also be talking about their issues.
Yeah.
And so, and he was a great, for me, he was a great listener. Because I mean, you don't tell your business to anybody.
Yeah, that's
but just
right.
the idea that, you know, like, he's the banker, yes. And then he wouldn't always be asking for money. So when, you know, they get their hand, if they want to give him something, they might give him a £5 or whatever. But a lot of the time, that's what I see. And so for me, I think it helps. You know, I would see people,
Yeah.
you know, okay, people who are not part of it can always have something to say. But for those who are in it, when you're in it and the bank's not giving you any money, and you know, sometimes family's hard to go to, because you know, everyone pleads poverty.
Yes, yeah.
So I think to be able to, you know, you think, okay, then if because I think I remember 250 quid was it with the amount of people that were in it for £5 and £10. You know, they can fix the business, and it's always, you know, going to Jamaica or paying for their family to come or for something. It was for something.
Yeah. We talked about the partner and how important that was in terms of people talking and sharing. Also, part of our culture is, you know, for some of us, is our faith.
Yes.
And I've had stories being told from my grandparents that when they came over, they had to hold their church in homes and things like that. Could you tell us a little bit about your family, because you said that your family were Christian, and you tell us a little bit about how important it was for them to hold their faith and how they managed to integrate and have church or whatever it is that they did when they came over.
I think my mum particularly, I mean, we used to go to a church called Hilltop. which was in Hilltop.
Hilltop.
No, Hill.
Oh, Hill, right.
Hell, you know.
That's what I thought you said. What kind of church that?
Rebuke him. Really? Rebuke it.
Firefield.
I remember as a youngster, you know, having to walk, you know, because obviously they didn't drive, parents didn't drive, you know, on the bus going to church, and how important faith was for my mum particularly, because again, you know, you're fighting a system, and also on a personal, you know, bearing in mind, I'm the last, there's 10 of us, and they're worried and the 7 of them at the time that were in Jamaica, they sent for my sister Jane in 1976, she came in 76. But for all my life, I'd been hearing about them, but I remember Mum always praying for them. And for the things that were happening. Obviously, it's letters. It's easy now, but then it's letters.
Which took weeks.
Which took weeks, you know, and then obviously, you know, she's working hard, he's working hard to make sure things are okay for them, you know, with the view that maybe they might wanted to send for them, but it didn't happen, you know. And so for me, I mean, just knowing that they had faith to believe that, you know, things were going to be better, even in a system that's hard and against them. And I think that informed me as a Christian that, you know, like, you know, we don't want to face anything. You know, they had to face a lot of things, and you know, how do you get through it? You know, you read something that says to you that tomorrow's going to be better, today's going to be better. You have to believe that things are going to be better. I mean, how do you believe that when you're faced, you know, with a hostile environment and everything else, and a system that's set up to kind of, for you to fail?
Well, do you know what, Orvil, what is so wonderful is that I know that Rush, it touches on so many elements, but one of the elements is there is a gospel choir. Is that true? And so there's a gospel choir, and for me, that plays, you know, it's so uplifting. It's an amazing feature, but also it's a real connection to our culture
background.
and our background, our heritage. And even if you're not a Christian, I know, you know, even if you're not a Christian, people from everywhere can be uplifted by the vocal angels that it is, you know, those spiritual angels, when you hear them singing. And, you know, when I was growing up in church, and all they have to say is drop a chorus, they might just sing one little verse, God, you know, they might sing, born again, thank God, I'm born again. Come on, drop it.
Born again,
come on.
thank God I'm born again.
Because I am born of the world. Oh, we better not bang the table. Let's uplift because I am born of the water,
The spirit and the blood, thank God I'm born again.
And again.
Born of the water, spirit and the blood, thank God I'm born again.
Come again.
And the trumpet, born again.
She's got it.
Tambourine.
Yes.
All right.
You remember what I remember about church back in the day? If you drop one note like reggae,
Out the door.
come on, tell ya. Not even no Rasta Olivia, but come on.
But you know what? That is changing.
Yeah.
That's
Because
changed
now
already.
you can hear a little. Dum, 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 dum.
Yeah. The laid back bass line. Oh, you better step that up. Listen.
And I'm like, where am I?
Where am
Make I
I?
just check myself.
Music is sweet for your dancing feet. So get up and move your feet. Let love shine bright along the way. Let love shine in your heart each and every day.
So we've touched on the gospel. Do you touch on anything like blues parties?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Lovers
Lovers
Yes,
Rock.
that's in their
A
heart.
certain house at a certain night on the wallpaper.
Rubbing the wallpaper up? I don't know
All
a
them
thing
things.
about that.
I don't know about
Pinocchio.
Yeah, we touch on that. We do touch
So
on that.
at the Rising Star,
Yes.
did anybody
Oh,
rub the
gosh.
wallpaper?
I don't think there was allowed to.
What music did you have at the Rising Star
Well,
linking to that?
We created a system where we had like, on a Friday night, it was like a disco night. And you get young ones from Derby, Rugby. If we look at the registration books, you know, half of them was coming from the other side of Birmingham.
Wow.
And the guys in Birmingham, you saying to me, boy, we tried to do every minute, we tried to take some of your crowd, we just can't. Because what happened, we had end up with maybe 20 best DJ in the Midlands.
Wow.
After with KKJ on a Friday night, Neil Jackson on a Monday night, and Neil went on to be Beacon Radio too in the whole, yeah. So when you have some of the best DJ, you know, well, you know people.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, though, this is how intricate Rush is and how we get real in depth. The conversation we had earlier about what Mr. C was saying about they don't let Rasta into the club. We addressed this in the show.
Amazing. This is amazing.
We
Rasta don't let
yeah. We addressed this in the show.
Let me give you one.
Yes.
One guy, and maybe you remember this guy they call Scalesman, which is
Yes,
in
son of
Big Locks.
Yes, yes.
And these guys, they used to come in,
Okay.
but they used to go out and buy a bowler hat for £45 to come in. And if
So
they
you're all right
come
with a bowler hat?
I don't pay for it.
No, I'm saying.
I mean, the
I'm
felt
saying
hat,
if
the
you
felt
bought-
hat,
if
that's
I
the
came
felt
to
hat.
your
Yeah,
door
yeah.
back in the day with a hat like
And he
this.
actually said to me one night, we used to do a Monday night show because I did, we used to do a Monday night show, we used to have at least, the crowd was 350, 400. My mate was on holiday, and when Cimarrons was touring, I think Ireland or something, the age, I used to get some act to Terry Collin in London. And he said he had Cimarrons on, and he said they were talking big money on weekends. And I said, well, what about Monday night? And he said, well, we could do it much cheaper. And I had, when Cimarron done that song, Big Girl Don't Cry,
Okay.
where they were doing that and touring, I had them put £2,500 in Rising Star. On a Monday night.
Bargain
And then
bucket.
when my mate come back and see the contract, he couldn't believe it. He was on holiday and he say, you know, so on a Monday night, you know, you get the younger one. And this guy said to me, boy, me I jump up down and my heart fly off. And I said, look good God, me get banned out of here now.
Because it's not.
All blocks come out, right?
Yeah. But the local guy understand, and we meet up, and we go in the pub, and we have a drink, and we talk. We'd never been enemy, and the rules. They said, well, we know you guys. We get on a long time, and we not been try to bend your rule. You have your rule and regulation, and that was it.
Yeah,
was
because
a mutual
to be honest, because you were Rising Star was where Bilston.
Yeah.
Right, so you had Rialto in Handsworth, and it was the same thing in Rialto.
Yeah.
Exact same thing. So it wasn't just exclusive to Rising Star.
But that is something that has been taken even from Jamaica itself. When I remember my family was saying about Rastafari, that's a whole different discussion, separately.
Yeah, separately.
That is changing.
Yeah.
It is changing.
And as I said, we addressed this in the show.
We
as well.
address it amazing. Owen, you are a sportsman, and I'm sure, I think we have in Rush. Do we talk about the cricket?
Yes, we do.
Oh.
We talk about the...
Why is that? Why did you put that in?
It was about Mr. Tony Gregg. We're going to let them grovel.
remember as a child, a young kid growing up, that was a big thing at the time.
Yes.
Even as a kid in my house.
Yeah.
Because when Test cricket was on and West Indies were here, in my house in summertime, because it was school holiday.
And it's on BBC.
BBC all day. My dad was locked. You couldn't even remotely think of touching that television. It's more than your life's work to turn that television over.
That was like for my granddad.
And then his mates would come during the day, and it was one big thing. So when Tony Gregg said that, is that they're going to make the West Indies grovel. Oh, my Lord. That just gave them more fight to beat England, to be honest with you.
At that time.
So, yeah,
and everybody was glued.
Yeah,
everybody was ready.
glued. Yeah.
Oh, my.
It was even bigger than what it is now.
And to be honest, the Caribbean team, then the West Indies, they had some great players.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely great players.
I think they've been honoured for. I think people recognise when you think of cricket. For me, straight away you do think about the West Indian teams. Yeah. You're reeling them off now. You're reeling them off.
Yeah, Viv Richards.
Well, I used to get stick from my dad. He said, "You don't belong to me, you know." Because I'd be going with school, like Craig Lowe.
Yeah, oh
right?
yeah.
And I used to go with my dad. And I said, "See you later." Where you go? Well, over there. I'm supporting England. And at the end of the day, when we get mashed up.
And you slide back over.
So this is where you can be British and Caribbean all in the one. And then so it's like the football.
Yes.
When we're watching the football now, I mean, very quickly the Reggae Boys is out.
Yes. Yeah, the Reggae Boys.
Unfortunately. So
that was a split loyalty.
That was a split loyalty, and then we're kind of like, come on, England.
Yeah.
Come on, lads. Come on, lads. This is how we, exactly. I mean, I would say that is the beauty of our cultures coming together. Yeah. And,
you see it in both camps.
You see it from both sides, but also, Mr. Campbell touched on it quite eloquently at the beginning when he talked about, Jamaica, he felt part of the British empire regardless, because being in Jamaica, we was British under that rule. Yeah. So, I mean, I know it can sound a little bit difficult, but at the same time, because we were part of it, coming to England was just a natural, a normal thing. It wasn't like
it was the motherland.
It was exactly. So it was seen as not natural. Let me say the right word. It was seen as an extension of the home. The only thing is, I'm thinking, I would have liked to have the extension in the sun. So I want to do the opposite. I want to go in the sun sometimes. You get what I mean? But I understand why, our families moved over and transitioned over here for opportunities. And we were invited.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk
That
about
is-
that.
that is a-
We were invited. You see how you see how I get you in there? Come on.
Powell.
Okay, so we were invited.
Yeah, we were invited by Mr. Enoch Powell, all the islands.
Yes.
And then he flipped.
We were invited, and we came with our qualifications, with our skills. You was highly skilled. Listen, to hear Mr. Campbell and what you've brought, and how you was of a high high stature over there.
When I was applying for job into the meat product, I had some interview, and I could say, where do you come from? The West Indian, know about salami, liver horse, tomato, big, you know, and how to make, you know, even the amount of spice, pork sausages and things like that. And they will say to you, you're just the type of person I'm looking for, but there's some more people to see, and that's the end here. You know?
Really?
Yeah. Because, you know, them days, it wasn't easy to get in.
Yes.
If management even say, have a chat there, people would say, oh, we ain't working with them. I mean, it was, you know, but we ride it, you know, we stood up and,
And can I ask you, because the time you came here was 1962, yeah? That's the year of Jamaican independence.
August.
How did that impact on any movement between the island and the UK?
Well, when I came January, we did call in thing like this restriction was coming on. That and after Jamaica made independent, anyone to come to England, you must be like about 16, 17 and going to university, going to college with parents, yeah?
Okay.
But before Jamaica was made independent, all you need is get your passport and book your fare.
Right.
If you can find some way to stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But after 62, there was restriction that if you're going to come, somebody has to sponsor you, or you're underage, or you're going to school, or something like that. I had was to, when I was sent for my wife, I had was to write that we were going to get married in North. But there was no problem at that time doing that. While you can say you can afford, you had a full-time job, and it's not what money you have in the bank, it's your income coming in to support somebody. Yeah, till they get a job. But so it wasn't easy, but you know. People like myself who always work, you know, work hard. You know, you might not have any money, but you live, you manage, Yeah.
So, Mr. Campbell, I mean, what I was going to say is, Ken, you're very good at asking questions. I might have you on my next show as a host. you get the next job. But I was just going to ask you, Mr. Campbell, because this is great information. So it sounds to me, you as a hard-working man, you work so hard, you bring your family over, you have your children, your wife, and it's so blessed. How did you socialize? What sort of things? I heard that you did organize a few trips, and you guys talked about going on trips. So how did you socialize? Let your hair down when you had hair.
Well, I got to say, I married somebody who was like dependent on me. If I say I'm going to do something, she always said, well, you always make the decision, and we get on fine, no problem. So I started playing cricket, and every end of year, because we guys, summertime, we all over the country. Kinver, Malvern, Rambla, all over the country. No, so at the end of the year, we always have a dinner and dance. And the girls, them going to dress up and come out and then have the proper dinner and dance, Connaught Hotel, and we'll either invited Jamaica High Commissioner or the mayor of the Wolverhampton, mayor and mayoress, because if you say mayor, it's just one person going to come.
Right.
If you're going to want both wife and husband, you got to say mayor and mayoress, and they respond. And we have a lot of time. And I used to get a lot of support from Express and Star for most things, because from Rising Star, we used to advertise to Express and Star every weekend what's on.
Wow.
So everything we're doing, one of the guys would be turning up and covering it and things like that. So, you know, I can't complain. I had some good times.
So you had some good social...
Good time, hard work and good times.
Hard work and good play.
Talking about the trips and that, So as I was saying earlier, Owen's dad was instrumental in organising trips for the community.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, it was a pub situation, wasn't it? Because my dad and his dad used to drink at the same pub.
Yeah.
And they used to have their crew and people and families.
Bang
and
night.
yeah, and they used to organise trips. But to be honest, if it wasn't for those trips, we wouldn't have gone nowhere for holiday because we couldn't afford big holidays and that.
We used to go to Barry Island.
Barry
and then
Island,
to the Bamboo Club in Bristol.
and we used to go. They used to have an after dance. So, and the kids we used to have to. They used to either have a spare room in the club that we would have to sit there and
All night.
sleep all night while the oldies raved.
Yes.
Or we sleep on the coach. One of the two.
Love it.
I
And
remember.
these are the
Go
things I remember from
I
my childhood.
love that.
And if we didn't have those trips, I can't see where we would have got a holiday or come out of Birmingham to go and see somewhere else or go and see Little C.
And it
and
was
things
like a
that.
holiday for
Yeah,
the
it
day.
was, of course it was.
Because I remember at the Bamboo Club,
Bristol, that was.
yeah, Bristol, and I remember this driver of the coach, and it was his first time, and everybody were like, "Yeah, all right, man, you want that drink?" And he's like, "Okay." And by the end of the night, he was mashed.
Oh,
Drive the
gosh.
bus.
And
Those were the days.
Yeah, those were the
Maybe
days.
not.
And I remember people saying, "Oh, could the man to drink them?" And everybody's. And Mr. King,
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
to drive the coach back.
Yeah.
Oh, it
And
was
then
that serious.
Yeah,
He was
drive a monkey rum.
Yeah,
carriage.
when they carried him out, he was
You
so
can't come out
drunk.
with Caribbean people and you ain't drinking,
You're drinking monkey rum,
You get me?
Lord. Oh, my
Good times then.
goodness.
So some of these trips we do, we would get an agent to book a venue where we stop and have a dance. So
This
we
dance
not
is a good thing.
So
Yeah.
even on the coach, the sound system, the back.
A chip same way.
Yeah,
I love it, I love it.
So we used to have some lovely time.
So-
You named it.
I remember that.
Brighton, New Brighton, boom, home to Western Supermare.
Really?
Barry Island.
Barry Island, we
All
been
of
to
them.
all of them, yeah.
I love this because, you know, what it says to me, as a people, we're so resilient, we're so strong, and even though there was some adversity, some difficulties, we still find time to have a good dance.
yeah.
and monkey rum.
Yeah, monkey rum.
That's going to be my and food, drink,
Yeah,
dance,
yeah.
music. Food,
Yeah.
drink, dance, music. A joyous Jamaican journey. I love
happy.
this.
And I remember being on the coach, and we'd stop, and like say, Miss Me over there and Mas Arnold over there. And you don't necessarily know them; they know your parents.
Yeah.
But you're just eating from everybody
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
It wasn't like go none of that.
everybody share
What do you
what
want?
they
All
want.
right.
But I remember going on church trips, on coach trips with the church, like you go to convention.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
go, and I remember going with my grandma, and you know, you think you're gonna have like, you know, little sandwich or whatever for your dinner.
Yeah, proper
My
food.
grandma took out a bag.
What?
There was a whole fish with a head.
Yeah, with the thermos.
God
Yes,
love the head.
and then she
Different-
gave me like a cup of tea. I was like, Grandma, how did this,
They were very
how did you get this,
religious.
a whole fish with a whole head? And she said, and she just presented it me with a piece of hard bread with all the
hard bread.
bones.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just needed a little ham sandwich or something. Well, not ham sandwich, but you know,
Yeah,
little,
at the time,
at the
yeah.
time, but just have just a little cheese sandwich or something, Grandma. Bun and cheese,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
fish,
This bulla
chicken,
cake.
bulla cake. I was like,
You want some Cersei?
so listen, every type of food that you
Went into this bag
Yeah,
for the
it was a
day.
different type of picnic.
Yeah. Them were the days before Mackie D's and
Yes.
KFC.
And you're never hungry.
You ain't tasting none of that.
Yeah.
Forget that.
My grandma's fried chicken
Yeah.
was
Was the bomb.
It was on a different
yeah.
level.
Yeah.
It was on a different level. Do you know what I mean? And you guys know. And I never knew anything about those KFCs or anything like that.
No.
Because you wouldn't be going to them.
No, you would
know?
not.
And my grandma would be like, what? She would be like horrified.
Mortified.
Yeah. And then
Absolutely.
the cakes that they would make as well. So you know the cake, the coconut one, what's it called?
I know, like a drops. Coconut drops. Yeah,
Coconut
that was
drops.
Sweet boy.
Sweet, you beg,
me
too
know.
sweet.
Yeah.
Too sweet. But
Coconut
so
drop, boy.
all of these, there's lots and lots of memories and themes within the play, and lots of things to celebrate. To celebrate the Windrush community and what they brought over to the UK and what they stand for and how they integrated and how they influenced, how was a big influence. So I'm just going to go around and just say, can you tell me what your favourite kind of memory or favourite thing that the Windrush community has brought to the UK from your point of view? It doesn't have to feature in the play.
Yeah, yeah.
If it does, that's good. If it doesn't, that's fine.
To be honest, when I think of my childhood, I think I had a great childhood. It was like the Waltons. We never had much, but the little we had, it stretched.
But we didn't know we didn't have much.
Yeah, we didn't even know we didn't have much, because what it is what it is.
Yeah.
But one of the classic things that I remember is I can smell it now, my mum in the kitchen on a Saturday cooking either soup.
Saturday soup?
Or she'll do some pig foot, cold foot.
Trotters, boy.
Trotters. And wrestling's coming on at 4 o'clock, because she used to love her wrestling. Big
With
Daddy,
Big Daddy,
Giant A-Stacks, a lot of them. I know them all, because I used to watch it religiously.
We had no choice.
These are the things that I remember growing up as a youth. I don't remember no bad experiences from when I was a youth.
That is such a beautiful...
Zero. And the thing is, when my mum passed away, God bless her soul, and my dad passed away, God bless his soul, I didn't, because you know at black people's funeral, we go up to the casket and we have a look in the casket and blah. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to remember them like that. I want to remember when I think of my parents, I think of them like this.
Wow.
And when I was growing up. But if I had looked in those coffins, I would have been every time I think of my mum, I would have seen a line there. If I thought of my dad, I would have seen a line there, and I didn't want that. One of the only sad thing I would say in my upbringing was I didn't get a chance to meet my grandparents. I never knew my grandparents because I'd never been to Jamaica as a kid to meet them when they were alive.
Yeah.
And certain family members, I didn't get to meet them. Luckily, later on in life, I did get to meet quite a few of my family that I heard them talking about. Because as I said earlier, every day my parents used to talk about back home. They never even said the word Jamaica, they just said back home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my dad always used to say he's going back home to build his house, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up doing that.
And there's lots of songs like that.
Yes, when he retired, he went back to Jamaica, built a nice house, still there now. But sadly, obviously, after 5 years, he passed away. And then 6 months later, my mom went, which I knew was going to happen because when you're with somebody so long, and one person goes,
Sometimes
obviously,
it's
it's inevitable. And her health, the last time I saw her when I went to bury my dad, she wasn't very well. So when we did get that call, you know, it was hard, but it wasn't that hard because I knew it was coming and I kind of got myself psyched up for it. But yeah, they gave us a good life for what they achieved here. And as a grown man, I've got ultimate respect for what they achieved here because I know what they achieved here is not easy.
That's amazing. Sorry, I'm feeling a bit emotional, actually. I don't know why I've just got so emotional, but it's because, I mean, we're celebrating life, we're celebrating legacy, but I believe anybody listening to this will feel that energy and that just the weight, that I've said it before, of such an amazing blending of cultures.
Yes, yes.
And for you to say that you didn't have much, but you had so many great memories. And when you talked about Saturday soup, straight away, I'm joining in. We're all like Saturday soup.
Saturday soup.
And I'm just saying, it's just beautiful. And thank you for sharing that memory. It's really good. I don't want to get emotional, but I don't know, sometimes that happens.
It was Sunday for me before church when my mum would just get up from the soup on a Saturday, and she used to cut the dumpling in half and fry it.
And fry.
Oh.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah. Nothing better than that. Yeah.
Sweetest.
Ain't had that for years, man.
Oh my goodness.
But for me, putting the play together with the help of the cast and crew is to celebrate this man for that generation.
Yes.
Because what they went through for us.
Wow.
And some of them
You're going to get us all crying right now.
You're right though, Owen. It is. It's to celebrate people like Mr. Campbell who came over here back in the day and done the groundwork for us.
Well, I experienced something like going in the pub, and where a guy used to boast, dressing away, black pants and white shirt. And now, and then we walk in, you know, they used to have this piano they call the old John.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to say, okay, boys, listen, here you come. Bye-bye, Blackbird, you want to sing?
You used to sing that.
They're going to start singing Bye-bye, Blackbird.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I used to
yes,
wait.
yes.
I used to wait for it. I've been to several pubs and walk in, and this guy said, sorry. And I went, what are you sorry about, mate?
How are you sorry about, mate?
He said, yeah.
I come from Wolverhampton.
He said, what are you sorry about? He's not going to serve you. He just walk
We
out.
told you.
When we had Rising Star, we had an agent called Kelly Star, used to supply with all the act. They were putting on a show in Gailey Workman Club. And Gailey Workman Club is just like lorry driver, big guys. And we drive down, the agent said, come down, look at the act. And if you like it, you can stage it. We drive down the big summer evening. We were going to Romeo and Juliet after we finished. That's what we was up
You
the
got to
night
watch
out.
Romeo and Juliet?
No, the club. There was a club called in Birmingham
Yeah,
City
in
Centre.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
We go down there. We drive a Toyota 18,000-pound car, and we could not have a drink in that place. So I walk up to the bar, and my mate, Mr. Daley, right behind me, and the people who serving was just passing me. And I said, hold on. I realized, I said, all I need is a drink, and I got some money to pay, you know.
You got money?
I didn't take any notice. A big guy come around and said, well, we don't serve you people in here.
Oh, wow.
And that was about 82,
Yeah.
roughly. And I said, well, you ain't talking to you people, mate. You're talking to me.
You said you ain't talking to you.
Anyway, Bill Grosvenor, who was the agent, he was comparing the show. And he asked us to sit down, you know,
All right.
to come and look at the act. And he saw us, and he come over and said, everything all right, gentlemen? And I said,
No, we can't
no,
get a
I
drink
don't
here,
think
man.
so, Bill, because we want a drink. And he said, what are you talking about? Anyway, this manager, I suppose, was still standing there, and he said, if I knew you was going to invite these people, I would. And Bill went. Let me tell you something about these two guys. They have a player 200 times better than this, and you would be welcome. You get to me, you're a disgrace. He said, this place is a disgrace.
Yeah.
And people just watching us go back down the stairs, because we wouldn't force anybody to have a drink.
Yeah,
I mean, we were dealing with a lot of white folks at that time, and we know it happened.
Yes.
And that wasn't straight. We knew it happened.
Normal day at the office.
We know it happened to us a lot of times. So, but what we're saying, even that time, 82, we were entertaining, looking after so many different nations at the time, and we could not have a drink, and we got money in the pocket to spend. You get what I mean? So, but it never, we know
Never
it's just
phased
one of
you.
them things. We know it happened. It happened. It happened.
Mr. Campbell, just tell us just a quick memory, like a positive, something that you think, I love, this is something that I'm really proud of that we brought to this country.
Well,
Seasoning.
yes.
Seasonings.
Well, what I noticed, because I spent 9 years in the flat before I could, and I was there like from £3.50, we included garage, till I could afford a mortgage. And when I moved over and paying a mortgage, I was saving about £40 a month, cheaper than what the rent was, renting it from the council. And West Indian is a type of people who like, we was the one who started to put out nice curtains and and you go because I don't think sometimes we ever think affordable. We just think we're a boasty set of people, especially Jamaican. Jamaican is, Jamaican like dress out at home. You come in and
Just like
So
this is what you brought, that vibrancy, that brightness, that dressing up.
well, at one time, we used to wear the pretty shirt, They used to say, look at them. But after a time, we couldn't get any It was all, everybody in the country are wearing them pretty shirt. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I enjoy myself here by hard working and honest people to myself, my family, and other people by thinking sometimes things didn't just happen overnight and it don't change just like that.
Just to wrap up, this is amazing because it's the first time you've been at the Grand Theatre.
I haven't been here.
Listen, change. This is happening. It's amazing. So one word, or one word about today. How? Just describe today or.
Today has been really brilliant. I've enjoyed my time here, and especially meeting Mr. C here and hearing his stories that he's telling, because I feel like I know him. And I've just met him today.
Wow. What about you, Owen? What's
One word?
One word or just a little phrase?
Empowering.
Empowering. And Mr. Campbell, how have you felt about doing this today?
I think this opportunity for me it's something I wouldn't sold for money. You know, I take
Another
it back.
tear moment.
Because this is the first time I've ever got the opportunity, like we're sitting discussing these things, reasonable, honestly, you know.
In a reasonable, safe space. And look at the backdrop. Look at we. Look at us.
Where we are.
So you're going to be our special guest on the night.
Could you think we could sit here discussing this? So
no way.
We've been blessed.
Honestly, I'm just getting so emotional, but it is a blessing, and I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys for, you know, working with me, sitting with me, sharing with me, allowing me to go on a joyous Jamaican journey.
Let's get that.
I know we get that in a few times. Thank you so. You need to pay to it. Thank you so much for sharing with me.
Our pleasure.
And I just want to say massive thank you to the Grand Theatre. I'm representing the Grand Theatre, but I want to say massive thank you because, you know, this is just an amazing opportunity for us to share in this space. So, guys, I just want to say thank you, and let's just give everybody a massive round of applause.
And even if my pocket's empty, I don't really want to go to work. No. It is so sweet under the sun. I'm gonna take my time, 'cause I don't really want to go to work. Got up this morning, look around and see the sun high. Grab my bag and take my phone. I shut the door and walk into the light. Oh yeah. And suddenly my phone is ringing. I can hear my boss shouting at me. You know what? He wants me to hurry, but I will not control my feet. Sun. And even if my pocket's empty, I don't really want to go to work. It is so sweet under the sun. I'm gonna take my time, 'cause I don't really want to go to work. Now that I'm hearing all these wonderful songs in my head, I love it. I'm losing my mind. Oh yeah. My phone is ringing again. even if my pocket's empty, I don't really wanna go to work. I don't really wanna go, no. It is so sweet under the sun. I'm gonna take my time, 'cause I don't